Hello, everybody. Welcome to week one of season three of the Evolution series. I am your host, as always, Bama Grad. As I bring to you tonight, week one, as it was a very good week for everybody. This year's kind of was an interesting year in the off season as some teams took to new teams and stuff, and then some users decided to stick around and be with their teams and stuff. So that was good too, and the ones that decide to take over other programs, best of luck to you this upcoming season. Hope you do well. Um, kind of getting that going. We did gain one user, SD22, and lost one owner. And that was Ahmedov Risk as he bowed out gracefully, and as Utah State now becomes coachless. I mean, they have a coach now, but in the game, but not as a user. So we'll have to see how Utah State does this season without Frisk at the helm. I can tell you, Frisk did pretty well in the season in the league. Really, first year wasn't too bad. It was kind of an up and down year, but I think it was like 5-7. Then last year it just imploded. He did get some wins late in the year. He finished the year 3-9, and that was only second to the 2-10 mark held by Simi at UNLV. So we'll see what goes as the season progresses on. Tonight, as we get going here, I'm going to start off with my Hawaii Warriors. We opened it up against T2 and the Rice Owls as T2 decided to get me on the echelon this year. Last year our game was second game of the week. This year it was first game of the week. And as we both went through some off-season stuff, lost some seniors and all that type of thing, got some new recruits into our program. So this game, though it was going to be interesting, as they had Sam McGuffey back as their running back and Cook back as their starter, as he was the starter last year. As Fanucci was knocked out for the year for his senior year. So Cook comes in with 1 year under his belt as the starter, and he really did well in this game. This game was literally up and down the field all game. And in the end, T2 kicked a field goal with time running out to win at 41-38 over my Hawaii Warriors. I tied it up earlier in the fourth quarter, did not the game at 38 all, and then he drove it down against my very passive pass defense. Sam McGuffey did not have a good night running against my defense. I shut him down literally. He had 12 carries, 24 yards on the game. He did score twice, but those were a little cheap 1 yard runs, that type of thing. But other than that, T2 really had no answer for my offense either on his defense, as they just had a lot of trouble containing my offense. I have a new offense this year, and it just came out of the gate hard and really left T2 scrambling a little bit for what to do. But when he needed to on that last drive, where I needed 7 to take the lead, he needed me to hold to a field goal, and he got it. So to tie the game, and then he won it later, 41-38. As I lose there, I did get a commit out of the recruiting front as I assigned a 2-star cornerback to my position. So very good news for me as I now take on Oklahoma State in the next game, and that should be a battle there as Oklahoma State comes into very tough as they come into uh, onto my field. So it'll be interesting to see how that game goes this year. Just to let you know, I did lose in the league Zachary and Bob Jr. from Louisiana Tech in Nevada. So, and then I did gain SD22 with Idaho. So we'll have to see how the WAC ends out this year. My goal is to win it. And yes, I do have SD22 as a part of the conference schedule, but the big number one for me to get past is Boise State. They're going to be they're going to be a tough team to beat. I know Kellen Moore is gone finally, but we'll have to see what happens with the team this year. We do have to go back to the Smurf turf later on this year to play them, so it will be interesting. See what happens there. Colorado State Rams, they were coming off. H22 was coming off a great year last year and was hoping to continue the same way. He had to take on the Big Blue in Michigan, and it was a battle to be had. It was an overtime game. Game was knotted up, and then they went to overtime where Michigan won the game 37-31 to beat H22 and his Colorado State Rams. So tough loss there for to begin the year for H22. Hopefully he can ride the ship out fast and get going again. This week his team goes to Lawrence, Kansas to take on the Kansas Jayhawks. So that will be a very tough matchup for him. Idaho Vandals, SD22, welcome to the league, my friend. You had quite an opener as you opened up against Washington State and you took it 58-55 in a very thrilling game, shootout all the way. No defense to be had in this game for either team, but it was a late field goal or touchdown to win it. It's 58-55 as SD22 gets initiated into the league with a big win, and he takes on Bob Jr.'s former team, Louisiana Tech, in the second week. And all I can say is Bob Jr. Louisiana Tech's going to be a hard team to beat. Bob Jr. left some great talent for this team. So we'll have to see what happens in that ball game. Idaho did get 2 commits out of there. Did have 2 commits on their roster. One decided to go elsewhere, and they did sign a 1-star left guard to their position. So great job, SD22, for getting that recruit. And Kansas Jayhawks, as they are now welcomed into the league, as they were idle last week. This week they'll take on H22 and his Colorado State Rams. So it will be interesting to see what happens there. As we will see from there, it should be a great user matchup in that battle. And in recruiting news, he had several guys on the recruiting front, 5 guys to be actually. 3 decided to go elsewhere, and 2-star athletes, a quarterback and a right tackle, decided to sign on to Kansas. So obviously the road's going to be rough there at Kansas, but I think the coach there can turn around and get things going again. So we'll see what happens. Rice Owls and T2, as I mentioned, he and I played a fantastic game in our battle. 41-38, won by T2. Sam McGuffey was nowhere to be had in this game. Taylor Cook just torched me for 4 touchdowns, over 400 yards passing. My quarterback, on the other hand, threw for 389 in this game and added 2 touchdowns, while my running back scored 3 times as my Hawaii Warriors won the running game in this game. But we lost on the scoreboard. So great job, T2. They take on Miami of Ohio University, the Redhawks. And on the recruiting front, T2 had 4 guys on his list this week. He signed all of them. A 2-star kicker, a 3-star middle linebacker, a 3-star left end, and a 3-star right tackle. Great pickup by T2 as he needed some help, as we both found out in our game our kickers are just horrendous. They cannot kick anything over 30 or 40 yards. So just a horrible kicking exhibition for both of our teams. So we'll see what happens there. San Diego State Aztecs, new year, and they open it up right with a big 2017 win over Washington, and get their foot in the door already, as they will now take on UCLA in the next week. So we'll see what happens there. UAB Blazers and Indy Mullen, and things did not start out well. He had to take on the defending national champions, Alabama Crimson Tide, as he was prepared for a battle in this game, and it just did not go their way any in this game, as Bama torched them 48-21, as Indy Mullen now has to go back and figure out what happened there. He now has a week off to think about the game plan and everything else, so hopefully he can come out more fired up and for the next week. And in recruiting news, he had a 4-star athlete on his target list, but he decided to go elsewhere. So tough loss there, but I know Indy Mullen's going to get that team rolling. Sox and Gators and UCF. What else can we say? This guy just wins. This week he opened up against Florida, and normally I would say tough matchup. But lately in this game, Florida has not been the same Florida as old, unless a user uses them. And I've seen in other dynasties where Florida's still being used like it was when Tebow was there. But I guess when the computer running it, Florida's just not look the same, as UCF torched the Gators 38-13, just left nothing to be desired in this game. And now next week he takes on Kent State, as that will be an interesting matchup there as we get things rolling. And in recruiting news, he signed 2 4-star athletes. One of those guys he took from UAB. UAB was also trying to recruit this kid, a 4-star left tackle and a 4-star middle linebacker. So great job, Sox and Gators. Miami University Redhawks, they opened up the year against Pittsburgh, lost a tough game 24-21. So they will now battle T2 as we'll see what goes in this game. They have to go to Houston to play the Rice Owls. I'm sure T2 will have Sam McGuffey back to full strength like he normally is. Gaining those 100 plus yards game just didn't happen in my game. And we'll see what happens from there. And in recruiting news, Miami University of Ohio did get 1 commit to their school, 2-star athlete, wide receiver. So great job there by Miami University. And they go as they move on. Kent State Golden Flashes. What a name, Golden Flashes. I call them the Bolts, but Flashes are just fine too. But they opened up the year against the Minnesota Gophers, and the Gophers just took it 27-14 at Kent State and was hoping to come in and make some noise. Didn't exactly happen that way. Now this week they take on the 23rd ranked UCF Knights as the Knights coming off that big blowout of the Gators. So we'll see what happens there. And in recruiting news, he had 3 guys on the list, did not sign any of them. One of those was a 2-star athlete, so another user takes another user's recruit and signs them to his school. It was a tough break there. Oklahoma State Cowboys, and this week they were off. This week they come to my field, so we'll see what happens there. Oklahoma State Cowboys, and one thing I do know, it is Bob Jr., so I will battle him again. So we'll see what happens there as we battle each other. And in recruiting news, he had a 3-star athlete, defensive tackle on the list. He got signed elsewhere, so we'll see what happens there. And Wyoming, hoping to ride the wave of last year's success, as he was hoping to ride the success of last year, hoping to dub against the Miami University Hurricanes. And Wyoming took the game 35-32 over Miami. Very tough game, but very good game, less all the way. Wyoming opens up the year right as they won that game, and now the Cowboys will take on New Mexico in the next battle. So it should be interesting as we get things rolling here. As all I can say is, gentlemen, welcome to week 1 of season 3. Great to see all of y'all in here again, and it should be a just absolute fun year again as we get things going again. The biggest thing I can say is beware of the advances that T2 posts, because we will need to get these games in as soon as possible. And if for some reason, if you need extensions on games and this and that, please let the commission know. It's very important they let him know as we get things going again, as should be an interesting year. And gentlemen, this will bring a conclusion to this show this week. And well, all I can say is have yourselves a fabulous evening, and I will talk to you later.